The first line of defense is made up of two main barriers, physical and chemical. Physical barriers include intact skin and a mucous membrane, and often prohibit the entry of harmful bacteria and viruses. Chemical barriers include sweat, tears, saliva, or mucus secreted by the body. These often create environments of pHs that are not normally suitable for the colonization of microbes. The second line of defense deals with the ingestion of invading organisms by a certain type of white blood cells. Phagocytes function by sending off an effective inflammatory response and certain antimicrobial proteins. Lysosomes often kill off microbes by generating toxic oxygen and then digesting them with microbial components. Killer cells also aid our body in defense. Here you can see one in action. Natural killer cells do not attack microorganisms directly, but destroy virus-infected body cells and abnormal body cells that could become cancerous. The body also has to defend itself from inflammation. Inflammation results from a tissue injury and causes the release of histamine. The second stage is dilation and increased leakiness. This causes the migration of phagocytes to the area. Phagocytes consume the cell debris and consume bacteria and helps the tissue heal. It is important for our immune system to be able to distinguish self from non-self. In order to distinguish self, every cell in the human body must carry the same distinctive surface proteins that distinguish it as itself. This allows the immune system to coexist with their body cells in a state known as self-tolerance. The immune system is often able to distinguish non-self because antigens that often enter the body are carrying such antigenic non-self epitopes that cause your immune system to react because they do not match that of the rest of your bodily cells. Blood typing also has to do with the recognition of self from non-self. For example, someone type A blood would be able to recognize that type of blood as self and would have antibodies to ward off any other type of blood recognizing that as non-self and therefore a harmful antigen. While the first line of defense consisted of innate immunity, the third line of defense consists of adaptive immunity, which is variable and highly specific and has the ability to remember infection. The lymphocytes are T and B cells. T cells, which are created in the thymus, control cell-mediated immunity, while B cells are created in the bone marrow and control humoral immunity. Characteristics include specific, diverse, self from non-self, and memory. There are three main phases to the third line of defense, the first being recognition. When a harmful agent enters the body, phagocytic cells retrieve it and kill the agent. MHC takes the leftover parts of the particle and displays them on the cell's surface. The second phase is activation. In this step, T cell receptors recognize the complex, and the complex decides to bind specific T or B cells for the creation of activating cells or generating a clone. These cells are able to form into plasma cells that release antibodies. Antibodies will release the right response to a specific antigen. The third stage is effector. This is when effector and memory cells are produced. Effector B cells secrete antibodies to fight the antigen, while effector T cells defeat other cells inside the body by secreting enzymes and other materials to fight those off. And memory cells, which are produced during this stage as well, often remember the virus encountered, so for the next time, the battle will be a lot easier. Memory cells are very beneficial to the body. They allow the immune system to bypass those steps outlined in yellow and get straight to the point when multiplying effector and other memory cells to fight off that specific pathogen because it already has prior knowledge of what it's like and what is required to fight it off. And this often lets people get better faster and helps us stay stronger against certain pathogens. An example of the benefit of having memory cells would be that the line here showing the patients recovering from an infection becomes steeper and steeper